and welcome to Beads Jar. So as part of our fabulous Easter range, I've designed this Swarovski pearl and chain bracelet. It goes really nicely as part of the set with our Rivoli and pearl necklace. Nice alternative for an Easter present. I hope you like it just as much as I have. To make our pearl and chain bracelet, we're going to have 2mm fine gold chain, 4mm jump rings, these beautiful Swarovski pearls, a toggle clasp, some crimp beads, this lovely silver rose Beadalon, and I'm also going to be needing a pair of side cutters and 2 pairs of flat nose pliers to work with, and I've got my ruler to help. So the first thing I'd suggest is to cut your chain. We're going to do 2 lengths of 160mm. If you measure one first, I've already pre-cut these, and you want to measure the first one and then thread the top loop through a head pin, and then thread your next section of chain. This makes it a lot easier so that you can then make sure you're going to get exactly the same lengths and then cut those. So what we want to do is cut a length of cable wire. So I'm going to cut a generous amount here, about just under 30 centimetres. And I'm going to put my crimp bead onto my wire, and you don't need to work at the very tip of the wire at this point. You can work a little bit lower down. You then want to take the wire through one of the jump rings, and we're going to take the tail end back over, so we've gone once through the jump ring, and then we're going to take these through the crimp bead. I'm now going to take the crimp bead down to the jump ring. I want it as close as I can get so we don't have a big loop of wire here. And then you want to crush your crimp bead flat with the flat nose pliers. Once it's crushed, it won't move at all. I'm just going to take a small amount of this tail end off, and I want to leave about 5mm so that I can tuck that back into the first pearl. And that makes us not have a scratchy end on the neck, on the bracelet. So that's just going to sit inside the pearl like so. So there's no bits sticking out. Follow that with the line of pearls. So we're just going to string the pearls straight onto the wire here. Very nice to work with. They're lovely and smooth. So now I've got all my pearls. So I've got 5, 10, 15, 19 pearls in total onto my wire. And I'm going to put the end on this bit. So crimp bead goes onto the wire, and this time down towards the beads. And then we want to go through the jump ring, and I'm going to take the end back through the crimp bead and the first pearl if I can. Sometimes the holes are a bit narrow, so you just have to have a bit of patience when trying to get it through. So you see my tail end's just come out here, and now we're working this loop down. The way I find easiest is to just place my pliers above the crimp bead, so not on it because we don't want to crush it, and then I can keep pulling this tail end, and you'll notice the loop of wires shrinking down, and I'm just going to get that as neat and as close as possible. So you'll now see there's no loop of wire visible on this end, And we're going to take, before crushing the crimp, we're going to take that wire away. So use your cutters to get as close as possible in. And basically what this means is as we move that upper section and then we crush our crimp bead, that wire is now being pulled back inside the pearls to give it a much neater finish. The next thing we're going to do is create the beautiful chain that's going to frame the pearls. So we open our jump ring, I'm not going to let go of the jump ring with my right hand at this moment, and what I'm going to do is actually place the first chain on this side. So that's just going to link on to that side of the pearls. I'm then going to take my next pair of pliers and just hold that whilst I place the second side on to the jump ring. I'm also going to attach one other 4mm jump ring onto that opened one before I close this all back together. So I've got my 4mm jump ring and my 2 chains either side. Just before I let go of this end, I'm also going to open that 4mm I've just placed on and add one side of my clasp. So I'm hooking that on and then closing that back together. You'll see it's really started to look close to finished at this point. So the chain needs to be running parallel either side of the pearls. We don't want any crosses or twists in this at this point. And then we're going to very carefully open this jump ring and attach them this side. So open your jump ring and hook the chain on. So like so, and then swap hands again. There we go. And just before closing this one, add in the jump ring again. Close that together. And then the other side to our fastener, and that will give us our completed pearl bracelet. Always have a quick final check that the strands of chain have stayed either side of the pearls, and when that goes onto your wrist, it will give you that beautiful finished effect with the chain either side. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again for our next tutorials. Please subscribe to our YouTube videos to see more creative and inspiring designs. Take care, bye bye.